In this how-to guide, I'm going to take you through the functionality of the legal register. In order to do that, we'll focus on the Environment Legal Register by using the Environment drop-down menu and clicking on Legislation Register. I'm going to select one particular law to demonstrate all the functionality of the legal register. In this example, I'm going to select the packaging regulations. I click on the title and it brings me to this page. This includes the title of the legislation itself, a micro summary describing the law, and the main summaries and duties as written by ourselves at Newground. The summary contains information about the history of the legislation and its aims. The duties section covers those duties that are required by businesses to comply with the legislation. Some summaries are larger than others. It depends how complex that law is. At the bottom of every summary, we always include a link to the full text of regulation. That opens a new window and provides you with the legislation itself. You may also want to add your own summary. Some companies have corporate compliance requirements, and they may differ from the generic duties that we've included here. In which case, simply click on Add Your Own Summary and Duties, and you can write or paste in text that describes your business's duties. Often, legislation is amended. Where legislation is amended, we include those changes in an Amendments to Legislation section. You can see here, for this example, this law has been changed 9 times since it was originally brought in. By clicking on the Amendments to Legislation section, you can see chronologically the changes to that law. We always highlight the latest change in yellow text. But you can see if I scroll down, we'll go through a history of changes to that legislation. Also within the legal register, we include links to any government guidance documents related to that law. By clicking on the Guidance Documents section, any government guidance can be found linked here. You can add compliance comments to any piece of law within the legal register. To do that, simply click on Compliance Comments, click Add a Comment, and write some text into the text box. Once completed, submit your comment, and you'll notice that this is now locked against that piece of law with a date stamp. This comment can be edited or deleted by the author, but only by the author. If you operate a multi-site subscription, the copy button here can be used to copy that compliance text across your multiple sites for the same legislation. You can create actions against any law in the legal register. You do that by clicking Compliance Actions, Add Action, and selecting the person or persons responsible for that particular action, providing a deadline simply by clicking on the box and using the calendar function. You can set that action as urgent, and you can even set a reminder for those people at a date in the future. You can then add text relating to that action, and by creating the action, those users will be emailed with the action notes. You can attach documents to every piece of law. You do that simply by clicking Attach Documents and Add Attachment. You can simply then navigate through your computer system to find the file to attach and click Upload. If you've already added files to the LUS system, a drop-down menu will appear here, and you'll be able to select from that drop-down menu to attach the relevant document. For many of the more common laws within the register, the LUS team have created a series of fact sheets. In this example, we've created a PDF fact sheet for the packaging regulations. By clicking on the link, it will open a PDF document that you may use for toolbox talks, training, or for your own information. You may then want to use our traffic light function. By clicking on traffic light status, you can use the drop-down menu to select a traffic light that represents how compliant you are with that particular law. Green, amber and red, fairly self-explanatory, but we've also added a white traffic light where the legislation is for information only, and a blue traffic light which we say is the same as green, fully compliant, but requires periodic action to remain compliant. By clicking on any of these traffic lights, it turns the entire bar that colour once updated, and the traffic light will show in the content page. From the legal register, we can assign risks and opportunities. We do that by clicking on the Risks and Opportunities button and assigning as a risk or opportunity. This brings up our risk and opportunity template, and you'll notice that because we assigned the risk from the legislation itself, the source of that risk has already been included. Complete the other elements of the template: risk, title, and a description of that risk before we save it. We can assign objectives through our legal register simply by clicking on Objectives, Assign as Objective, and completing the text box within the Objectives template. You'll notice that the source of the objective has already been linked through our legal register. Once completed, click Save. The final element within the legal register is to set a review date. We do this in each law by selecting the Review Date function, clicking Edit. We can then select a date by which we want to review the legislation. By ticking this tick box here, we can assign a particular user from the LUS system and clicking Update.